Well, despite most of the architects getting some rain over the weekend, the Arklatex, I should have said, we are still in the midst of a very dry winter season. Unfortunately, that means some house fires. First News anchor Nate Fluharty joins us live from Sheriff's Safety Town with some tips and reminders on how to keep you and your property safe. Nate?
Whoa. What's going on? Fire! Alright, this is just a simulation, but it is a terrifying scene that plays out in America every day. And sadly, here in the Arklatex. I'm Nate Fluharty, and Jeff and I are live this morning at the Sheriff's Safety Town here in Caddo Parish. And we wanted to tackle this scary scene this morning, fire safety. Around this time of year, sadly, we see the number of fires locally pick up in a major way. And there's a number of reasons why, but for a family, for a parent, for a child, for anybody, a scene like this is very scary. Now, this is a simulation, as I mentioned here at Safety Town. This is one of the many things that they do to teach the kids about fire dangers, what they should do if they find themselves in a scary scene like I just did. You wake up, there's smoke in your bedroom, what do you do? Well, we're going to be tackling some things like that, but we're also going to be talking about some things for the grown-ups. How about we step outside this bedroom for just a second here, wander down the hallway and into the kitchen. Yeah, when I say that Safety Town here really has it all, it does. It's not just for the kids, but also for the adults. And over the last couple of weeks, they've been diving into ways to kind of teach not necessarily just adults, even those 14 and older, some of the ways that they can stay safe when you have kids in the house, some fire safety, some other things. Some of the other things they've been diving into recently is how to use one of these things, a fire extinguisher. Now, it may seem like, oh, I know how to use that, but how many of you actually pulled this out of your closet? Maybe actually looked at it. Oh, I got to snap this off. I got to pull a pin. Well, these are all things that you have to do in an emergency to get something like your fire extinguisher to work. And a lot of people don't realize how sometimes it can be a little confusing for people. But this morning we're going to be diving into that. We're going to be talking about some current burn bans that are still underway. Even though we got some rain recently, yeah, where are we right now with the threat of fire dangers? We're going to be diving into it all. We're going to be speaking with Jeff Whitty, fire officials from Shreveport Fire Department, and some very knowledgeable guys and tips that we're going to be talking to this morning to keep you and the whole family safe to get us through this winter season. It's been a dry one. Reporting live, I'm Nate Fluharty. On your side. Back to you, Shannon.
All right. Thanks, Nate. We'll check in with you a little later. Well, despite most of the Arklatex getting some rain over the weekend, we are still in the midst of a very dry winter season, and unfortunately, that can mean house fires. First News anchor Nate Fluharty is with us live from Sheriff's Safety Town with some tips and reminders on how to keep you and your property safe. Nate?
Yeah, good morning, Shannon. Just hanging out here in the kitchen this morning, as a lot of Arklatex residents do. When you wake up, get ready to make some breakfast and get that coffee going. A normal kitchen setting. But this morning, we are here at Safety Town in Caddo Parish, and we're focusing on fire safety. As Shannon just mentioned, it is a very busy time of year, probably the busiest when it comes to battling house fires, inside, outside, and want to focus on ways that we all can stay safe. And Jeff Whitty from Shreveport Fire Prevention Officer, and always doing a great job focusing on ways that we can do this. And Jeff, let's just break it down right now. I know it's a busy time for you guys, Shreveport Fire. What are some of the fire calls that you're receiving, and why are we seeing so many?
Well, when you think of wintertime, you think of heating, and some people don't have the luxury of central heating, so we use alternative means. So that includes space heaters, stove tops. Those are all used in the home to heat the home, and we see a lot of fires relating to operator error when it comes to those devices.
Absolutely, and when it comes to, I mean, you talk about a fire in the kitchen, nobody likes to see flames shooting out of, off your stovetop here. So aside from, what are some things that folks right now, let's just focus on the oven, your fire's going crazy, what do you do? We don't want to grab this and just start giving it the old, that could probably make things worse.
You don't want to fan the flames,
right,
absolutely, as the saying goes. So the first thing is remove any combustibles, such as rags, paper, things like that, towels from the area, keep a clear space. If you do have a grease fire on top of the stove, leave the pan right where it is, put a cover over the pan, and turn off the heat.
Okay.
If you pick it up and carry it, you could splash it, you could burn yourself, and spread the fire.
Wow, good advice there. Let's talk about what you have behind you, why these two items are essential for every home.
So every good home fire escape plan starts with a smoke alarm. These should be installed near where you sleep, either inside or outside of your bedrooms on every level of the home. This will provide you with an early warning in order, just like you did earlier, wake you up in your bed and give you enough time to escape the fire.
Absolutely.
And then, if worst case scenario, if you do decide to try to extinguish a small fire, you can use a fire extinguisher. Some of the basics of this is making sure that it has enough pressure, making sure it's charged, and making sure you know the original steps in how to use the extinguisher to safely extinguish a fire.
Absolutely, and definitely some things that you may not realize it, folks. I was just telling Jeff, one of the reasons I wanted to focus on this is the increase in calls that they're saying at SFD, ways that we can stay safe, but I also realized too, I wasn't real familiar with how to work my own fire extinguisher. Maybe some other folks may find yourself in that predicament. So now is the time before an emergency to look these things over. And Jeff, also, I think it's important to note that if folks do have questions, if they don't know how to get their smoke alarm working, or if they don't know how to operate this, can they reach out to you guys at SFD?
Absolutely. They can call the Shreveport Fire Prevention Bureau. That's 318-673-6740. And we can discuss it over the phone with them or come out to their house and assist them.
Real simple to do, and it could mean the difference between life and death. They got some big workshops going on right now to teach some younger folks, some older folks, everybody in between how to stay safe, and some simple tips, simple things, again, that could save a life. We're going to be diving into that and much more here at Safety Town coming up a little bit later here on First News.
Despite most of the Arklatex getting some rain over the weekend, we are still in the midst of a very dry winter season, and unfortunately, that means house fires. First News anchor Nate Fluharty is joining us live from here, Safety Town, and it looks pretty smoky where you are.
Yeah, Shannon, you're exactly right. A scary scene here at Safety Town, and it really was kind of to simulate what could happen in an awful situation, a very scary one for any child, for a parent, for anybody inside of a home, an apartment. You wake up, you see the smoke, you hear something, and you know something just isn't right. And that is what we want to focus on this morning. Want to have Jeff step in here. We're going to bring Jeff Whitty in, Fire Prevention Officer with Shreveport Fire. And guys, first things first, Jeff, let's just dive into it. Tragically and unfortunately enough, this is a scene that some kids here in the Arklatex may wake up to at some point in their lives. Let's just break down what they can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is your home fire escape plan. And hopefully you have one, you practice one before the actual event happens.
Sure.
So here at Safety Town, that's what we simulate, the practice of it. So the first thing is having a working smoke alarm. So certainly inside your bedroom right here.
We got one right here.
Right there. So when this detects the smoke, it's going to let out the alarm sound, just like that. And then you fall and crawl underneath the smoke, because all the smoke's going to be up high. Come to your door, feel it with the back of your hand. If it's hot, don't open it.
Yeah.
Find alternative means like a window. If it's cool, you can exit out the house to your safe meeting place outside.
Yeah, so let's talk about that right here. Looks to be some sort of ladder that you have set up, and this is a big deal. Now, why obviously do you want a ladder, even if it's something like a second story, a third story?
Yes. So again, you have to, ideally you want two means of escape out of your house. So if you do have a second floor bedroom, you do want one of these escape ladders. You can get them at any home improvement store, major retailer, or online.
And this just goes right around the doorway?
It hooks right there on the
like
windowsill. You can drop it down.
Okay.
And you can actually store it underneath your bed. So when you
Wow.
fall out of your bed, fall and crawl, you can grab the ladder and deploy it out the window.
Okay, essential. But that thing that you have in your hand here, every time we've spoken to you, you've touched on the need to have that.
Yes. This will not save you, pick you up, that is, and take you out of the house. You still have to physically do it yourself sometimes. But this will provide you with an early warning to give you enough time to escape, which on average is less than 2 minutes in a burning house.
Wow. Buddy, this one's a little scary.
It can be.
When the lights
I mean-
are on, the smoke's coming out, I can see how it drives home that message.
Yes.
Especially for some students and for some parents. And this really is some life-saving stuff today, guys. Unfortunately, out of time right now, but stick around. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to be diving into how you, the public, can take advantage of some of the things here at Safety Town to teach your family, your little ones, and yourself those life-saving skills in the moment's notice.
With our unusual dry conditions over this winter season, the wet weather we had over the weekend was very welcome indeed, but the dry conditions are still persisting, and unfortunately that means house fires. First News anchor Nate Fluharty is with us now from Sheriff Safety Town, giving us tips and reminders. You're back in the kitchen, Nate. Tell us what you're cooking up.
Well, Shannon, cooking up some great tips on what we need to keep in mind for fire safety, and it really has been a very enlightening morning here at Safety Town in Caddo Parish, and focusing on ways that the little ones, the old ones, everybody in between, that we all can stay safe in the event of a house fire. And unfortunately, as Shannon mentioned, now's the time of year that firefighters see a major uptick in vacant house fires, that people live in, rentals, you name it. I want to bring in Jeff Whitty, the fire prevention officer with Shreveport Fire Department. Jeff, always doing a great job getting the word out. And one thing I've heard time and time again, every time you talk, is the need to have a plan, Jeff, whether that's with the fire, whether it's in the kitchen, having a fire extinguisher, you name it. Let's talk about that and why everybody, an entire family, needs to have a fire plan.
Absolutely. So prior planning and preparation can prevent injury and death. That's been proven time and time again. And so when it comes to having a home fire escape plan, having working smoke alarms, having a fire extinguisher that is appropriate for your home, and knowing how to use it is essential, because these elements right here are out of sight, out of mind, unless you do have a fire.
Yeah.
So it's important to check your smoke alarms once a month, make sure they function properly. Check the pressure on your fire extinguisher, make sure the nozzle's not clogged with any debris or dust or dirt, and of course knowing how to use it, and then telling everybody in your family what the plan is, practicing together as a family prior to the fire occurring.
Absolutely.
Essential.
We've talked about some very important things today, Jeff, but for folks and families out there that may be thinking, I might not know how to operate these, so I don't want to teach my kids the wrong way. You guys have some very important things coming up, some workshops designed to help everybody stay knowledgeable during this time. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So this weekend, this Saturday, February 21st, right here at Caddo Parish Sheriff Safety Town, we are partnering with the Sheriff's Office to do a fire retreat. We're going to talk about the smoke alarms. We're going to help you develop a home fire escape plan. Actually practice with a real fire extinguisher, learn how to use it. We're going to have our brand new inflatable fire safety house where we can use to smoke up, if you will, with the actual smoke, make it fun, but also help you practice escaping a burning building. And we're happy to do this partnership with the Sheriff's Office to put out some good information. It is going to be Saturday morning, 9 to noon, right here at Safety Town, 8910 Jewella.
Fantastic. And I think it's important because you mix it in some very helpful things, some life-saving things, but you make it fun. I've learned something or two. Here I am, I thought I knew it all, but when you come down to it and you talk about things like this and having that plan, some things that maybe you overlook. So I think this is going to go a long way. Saturday is going to be a great event. So free to attend? Sounds fun too.
Free to attend, open to the public.
Great. All right. Hey, quick shout out to the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Department too, doing a great job. You guys are quite the team here, and yes, a great collaboration, going a big way in keeping the public safe. So look forward to that workshop this Saturday, Jeff. Thanks.
We do too. Thanks for highlighting it.
Our best to get that word out there. Yes, we don't want those fire problems, and that's what it's all about, folks. Keep it safe out there. If you see a problem, Shreveport Fire will be there in a moment's notice. Don't wait as well. It's one thing we were talking about. Some people wait too long before they reach out to get that help they need. If it's an emergency, call 911. They are there.